afternoon or good evening, my fellow Trash Talkers. Whatever time you're tuning in, I'm glad to have you on board once again. You're listening to Trash Talk with DBauk, and I'm your host, Dave Bauk. It is Sunday, the 24th of August, 2025, and this is a special episode today. No NBA, no NFL, and even though we may have met at Game 5 of the NBA Finals in 2021, didn't meet there, we just watched the game together. Anyway, my special guest today is none other than my partner, Kate Winney.
Thanks.
Like I said, not here to talk NBA, not here to talk NFL. We are here to talk about the events of the last couple of years, or 2024, 2025, and here to be a voice or a resource for those that have gone through anything similar to what went down with us.
What went down?
Plenty of things that have went down, I guess, in the last couple of years. But one in particular was something that I've made very, very clear and open to everyone was the Meningioma brain tumour or surgery that happened last year, and obviously the ongoing recovery. And what went on behind the scenes with a couple of big...
Two high-risk pregnancies.
Two high-risk pregnancies, yes. Those are the words that we're after. Hard to talk about, but... Necessary, yeah. So we want to be any kind of help that we can possibly be for those that have gone through it or are going through it. And we just wanted to share, I guess, our journey throughout, like I said, probably from December 2023 onwards through to now. So it's gonna be tough. Could be emotional, but I mean this is why we're here. This is why we wanted to do it. It's been long enough now that we thought that now is the right time to do this. So where do we start? We start back in December of 2023 when we started having conversations of wanting to have children.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit earlier than...
It probably was a little bit earlier than that.
But I think that, we were like 2 years in to our relationship, so we were like, what's the next step? We talked about having kids, and I guess we were lucky enough to fall pregnant quite quickly.
Yeah.
Found out in late January of 2024, and I think we were really nervous, but we had lots of different things coming up. We were moving house, we were doing lots of things, so it was almost like everything was falling. Well, we thought everything was falling into place for us, but really it was just the beginning of
what was a crazy rebuild 2024.
Yeah.
We'd been lucky enough to travel a couple of times, so now that was the right time to do so. I think, you get through Jan and Feb before the move. We moved here into our new place in March.
Yeah. And we just went for the regular NIPT testing, and I guess you kind of don't think that you're going to be one of the high risk ones because not many people talk about being high risk, or if they do, we hadn't heard it because when you're not pregnant, you don't really pay attention to what other people are doing, and you don't understand the complexities that go around with pregnancies. But we did the NIPT test in middle of March.
Yep.
And then I went off to a work conference in Queensland, and they told us that if we get a call, then the results aren't good, and if we don't get a call, then the results are good. And I think I will never forget sitting there just as my work conference kicked off. The keynote speaker was our CEO, and right as soon as he went on, I got a call, and I just knew straight away it was going to be bad. And I walked out of the conference and I was like, what is it? And I just remember the genetic counsellor at Sydney Ultrasound for Women was Sarah. She was really nice, but just not comprehending anything, just walking out and being like, what? what do you mean? And so we were told that we were high risk for Klinefelter's, which is an extra chromosome in males only, so it only affects boys. And I think I was just sitting there being like, oh, so it's a boy, oh my gosh, like you just kind of don't go through things like that. And I just remember being like, can you explain it to me again? Can you explain what it means? What will happen to the baby? And at the time, nothing was sort of going through making sense in my brain. So I remember texting you. I think I might have even texted you, and I was like, oh, it's not good.
You texted first, and then a phone call came almost straight away. And I was working here at the time as well from home, and to get a message or a phone call like that when you're not with each other. And I think the call was very kind of fast and emotional, like, by the way, it's a boy, but then there was a but, and then kind of just broke down. And I think it's always the case as a guy, girl in general, like, you're always excited, oh, I get a Dave Jr. or whatever, like, this is my boy, I'm taking the footy and all this kind of stuff. But it's so hard to then hear that, but the baby has extra chromosome, I believe it was, And it was just such it's a decision that we had to make.
Not even then. We
couldn't make it then, no. Like,
so I guess, like, from there, I had my obstetrician call, my GP call. We actually have the best medical team around us to go through it. Just explaining different things, and then basically we opted to go for a CVS, which is where they stick a needle in and take cells from the placenta, just to 100% confirm. They said that even though the NIPT test, like, it's really strong, it's 99% chance of a positive result, we were still hoping for, like, that 1% of, like, a false positive. We went in, I think I flew back down from the Gold Coast
2 days later.
2 days later. Absolutely bawled, like, my eyes out throughout the conference, throughout, like, it was really hard, because you're just unknown and you're just holding on to hope for a false positive. And then we came back, and I think that day we went into the city and we did the CVS, and it's like they stick this giant needle into your placenta to get the results. And the doctor at the time was like, I'm not sure why you're doing this. It's pretty much confirmed, and I think we were just hoping that it wasn't. And then in the meantime, we were having conversations in the background with the genetic counsellor, with each other, with our family, with the obstetrician, just making sure that we understood the full breadth of what Klinefelter syndrome is. And I think from our perspective, it was too vast of a syndrome for us to bring a baby into the world not knowing what he was going to be like.
That's right, yeah.
Not knowing what his quality of life would be.
Yeah. And
also, I guess, it really makes you question everything in that moment as parents, because you are parents you want your child to be set up for the best success that you can. And I think there was too many what ifs with Klinefelter's that made us make a decision to not continue the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So once we got the results from the CBS, we kind of made the decision that we wouldn't continue the pregnancy, and I went in for surgery.
Yeah.
Maybe a week after.
Yeah.
That, because we were quite far, we were like 13 or 14 weeks by that stage. Again, the medical team were all really helpful and kind and whatnot. Teachers' Health Insurance was not.
No, they weren't. We went through a lot with them.
Yeah. They had to.
Not a whole lot of positives.
They asked me to confirm if the pregnancy wasn't a pre-existing condition from November, which obviously when you're 13 weeks in the middle of March, you do the math, but you know, insurance companies have got to make money somehow. So yeah, that was I think the toughest day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was all before Easter.
It was the Thursday before Easter.
Yeah. So with that all happening and then going through a big family Easter, it wasn't exactly the place that we wanted to, let's be honest, see anyone by that point. Like I know seeing family and friends is always good, but I think after going through something as traumatic as that, and especially as a partner, there's not a whole lot I could do at all because I'm not the one going through surgery other than be there to support. I was devastated, but this wasn't an easy conversation to have at all. This was, like, it sucks when you've got to make a decision like that. But everyone makes different decisions at the time. This was the decision we made.
That's right for our family.
That was right for our family, and that's...
Doesn't mean that it's right for everyone else's family.
That's exactly right.
But I think, so I guess after that, I probably wasn't ready for the emotions that came with choosing not to continue a pregnancy. And I think the hormone drops, you're still feeling sick, you're bleeding, and all you look for in your first trimester of pregnancy is you're hoping that you're not going to bleed because you don't want a miscarriage, and then
That's right.
You're bleeding for so long after the surgery, and in the end I was bleeding for 2 months and ended up having to go for a second surgery to remove debris, I think they said the medical term was, because the medical system is designed by men because all these surgeries are guided by ultrasound, and there's no advances in the technology, because if it was men going through them, I'm sure that we would find an easier way to do this, but that's a story for another day. But I think that those 2 months were really hard on both of us.
Without knowing how hard it is to get pregnant in the first place, and then I guess we kind of both felt like, I think we second guessed ourselves a lot after that as well at the same time, but we didn't, we knew we made the right call for us, but still at the same time we're like, shit, we were months away from having our first boy. That was hard.
And I admire women every single day getting up, going to work, looking after the kids, like just doing what they do, because it's so brutally hard on you physically, emotionally.
100%. 100%. And look, I think after your second surgery, I can't remember whether or not we had it booked in prior, but we knew that we needed a reset.
I think we booked it in straight after
it was
first surgery, and I think we just knew we needed something to look forward to, because it was so hard, and I don't think we were prepared. I guess when you make a decision so quickly and then a week later you're going in for surgery, I don't think you know what you're going to get. But sharing our story with like a lot of women since then, like a lot of women have shared their miscarriages or their own experiences, and so it makes you feel less alone. But we booked a trip to Bali just for something to look forward to.
And I think it was around your birthday time, about a week before your birthday, so we said, all right, let's get away for your birthday. We can at least just get away from everything, I think, for a couple of weeks, and I don't know, just rethink, just the two of us having our alone time, no distractions from everyone else. And
it was almost like we got on that plane and we're like, we're going to close the chapter on this, we're going to come back, everything's going to be okay. And it was not. No, I think the first week we were in Nusa Dua, and I think everything felt fine there. And then we went to Seminyak,
I believe on your birthday we travelled there on that day, went out for dinner. I think everything was okay for the first couple of days, and now it kind of shifts to, I guess, the next problem or issue that came up. I remember having a raging headache. This would have been 3 or 4 days, I think, before we left. And standard thing as guys, we just shake it off.
No.
No.
You did not shake it off.
I didn't. No. I shook it off to say, I'm sure it's just a headache, or I'm hungover or something like that. But let's be real, on holidays, when you're on holidays, you have a couple of drinks, but we didn't, not that we were going crazy or anything like that, but it's obviously very, very hot over there. I did not shake it off, you're right.
He sat there with towels over his head.
Yeah, I was in major pain. I was. It wasn't fun at all. Went to go get a massage to think maybe this will cleanse everything out. Kate had gone to get, I think, a massage as well, somewhere out of town. So she came back and I was in bed, towels over. She goes, get over it, it's fine, it's nothing, I'm sure. We went out for a couple of dinner and drinks, and I think the first drink I ordered was a juice. And he said, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. Anyway, the next day everything was okay. It was normal. The day we left, and I'm never usually good on flights, but 8-hour flight home. Extreme pain. Migraine non-stop for the whole flight, didn't sleep a wink. My niece's birthday was actually the next day, the day that we flew in. And for me to come back, and I said to Kate, I need to sleep, just need to go to bed. I'll wake up, be good to go to her birthday. Couldn't go.
Yeah.
I was in a lot of pain, so slept for pretty much the rest of the day, and again everything was fine the next day after that. But then it went on again, probably for maybe until the start of July. I was going through it again for about 3 days. And during that 3-day period, you went down to the GP and said, I'm booking you in for an appointment. You just need to see someone because it doesn't seem right.
No, I was just so over you complaining that I was like, just take some painkillers, you'll be fine, you'll get over it.
Yeah, that was also a conversation. So I did go down, saw my GP, different GP compared to my usual one, and she actually said that she'd seen someone have similar symptoms.
Well, she just sent you for an MRI. She was just like, I'm just going to be precautionary. You should go for an MRI. She didn't say symptoms.
Yeah, but the things I was describing to her were that.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's like, hopefully it's just nothing. Anyway, so the MRI was booked in for the following week, the 11th of July, but on the 7th of July, day before my birthday.
Oh, yeah. So I think like... it's stopping around a bit. I think like after the first pregnancy we had discussed, we'll give, like, I think everyone told us to wait, to try again, like give it 3 months, and we kind of did, and we kind of like thought, okay, well, it won't happen as quickly yet again, so we'll just see how it goes. We fell pregnant very quickly again. So we found out, I think, really, really, really early, like 3 or 4 weeks. The day before your birthday we found out. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that was quick. Yeah.
It was also hard without being I really wanted to be super, super happy about it, but because I was in so much pain, I couldn't jump up out of bed like, oh my God, thank goodness. It was, yay. Kind of like, you need to get this headache is ridiculous. But obviously we were super happy, but kind of shocked as well at the same time that it kind of had happened so quickly again. So we're very lucky for that. So again, had the fam over the next day. We couldn't really say anything because it was super early. We hit it well enough because I said I was in extreme pain from a headache that I wasn't going to have a couple of drinks for my birthday. So Kate wasn't drinking as well, which made it look like that we were supporting each other, which was a good play from us to hide it. 3 days after the birthday, after obviously finding out that we were pregnant, I went in for my MRI that morning. Not
No, it wasn't our best morning.
It wasn't our best morning. I don't know what happened. I don't know. It's argued about something. I don't know. But you still drove us to Cogger. You waited in there for us just in case. Anything just to make sure it was alright. And I don't know, I'd never had an MRI on the brain, but I knew that everything was ringing. It was a lot, but you don't think of it being anything other than, it's just a checkup to make sure you're okay. You drove off to work. I was looking after my niece again that day here, and then about 3 hours later, just around lunchtime or just after that, I got a call from the GP, and he said, "You've got a meningioma brain tumour."
It was like, "Oh, you've got a brain tumour."
You've got a brain tumour, yeah. Well, he eventually described it as meningioma when I was down there. But he goes, "You got a brain tumour." Everything he said after that is just a complete blank. Like, I know that he explained it when I was there. He goes, "Oh, we believe it's benign." Da-da-da-da-da. But as soon as the words brain tumour came out of his mouth, and as I was looking after her, I just froze.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to think. I automatically thought, all right, well, this is it. Like, it's been a run. But then I also thought, shit, Kate's at work. How do I have this conversation with her? I knew she had a massive day at work too. So finding that news out from him, he's like, "Oh, can you come down straight away?" And I remember walking my niece back over to my parents' place, and they were like, "Is everything all right?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "Can you look after Mickey and I'll be back?" And they were like, "Okay." Walked down there, had the 5-minute conversation with my GP saying, "Yep, it's a meningioma brain tumour. It's benign, but it's the size of a fist." It was huge. So they want you to go to the hospital straight away. Go straight to emergency. I said, okay. Tried to call Kate. She didn't pick up because she was in a meeting, obviously. Big meeting. Tried to call my brother. He didn't pick up. Tried to call mum. She didn't pick up because she was obviously looking after her. And I think I tried to call DJ and he didn't pick up because he was working. I'm like, I can't tell anyone that I'm in strife here. So eventually I called Dad and I said, "Dad, I need to lift to the hospital." He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I just found out I had a brain tumour." And that was like the end of the conversation because I couldn't get any more words out of my mouth. I was in shock. And then I think I remember having to text you. And I texted you saying, "Look, these are the findings from the MRI. I've got a brain tumour." And as I was on my way to the hospital, that's when you called me.
Yeah.
Just in complete disarray and shock and...
Yeah. I think, like, I walked out of a meeting and I was like... I'd gone into the office that day and I was like, "Oh, women get migraines all the time.
Yeah.
Just look at this guy complaining about a bloody migraine." And then he calls me and tells me he's got a brain tumour and you feel terrible. And then I remember walking down the stairs to my car and being like, "I'm going to be a single mum."
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing... It was just so much shock. Like, I thought you were going to die. Like, I just didn't know what was going to happen.
100%.
Because you hear brain tumour, you automatically think of cancer and you just don't... You don't know anything. So I drove to the hospital so quickly.
Yeah.
Got there. They rushed you through. I think anything to do with brain tumours, they you were straight in. You never waited a second.
No, it was.
You're in resus, and you're in the most high risk area of the ER because they want to monitor you.
Yeah, pretty much couldn't have you in there. You had to wait kind of outside for a bit until they connected me up to just about everything, and that was hard because you're sitting there on your own. I know you were out there seeing each other. You get emotional straight away because, again, I thought I've left Kate on her own here with potentially with a baby on the way, and then I thought I was gone. Yeah. So I think we were there for about 5 or 6 hours after that. Then they eventually explained everything. They said, "Oh, come in and see the..."
So unfazed.
Yeah, so unfazed. Whereas we just...
Which honestly made us feel... for me, it actually made me feel more feel better about it because they were so unfazed by the description of a meningioma. They were just like, oh yeah, this happens. You go for surgery. They take it out.
Yeah.
There's a really good neurosurgeon in the hospital. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, cool, thanks. This was...
I was like, it's going to be fine.
Yeah. I definitely wasn't thinking that way at all. I was shit scared, obviously. We had to go see him 3 or 4 days, I think, after that.
Yeah.
And even when we saw him, he goes, yeah, everything should be okay, but this is the biggest one I've ever seen. So I think hearing that is like, all right, well, you're obviously extremely, extremely good at what you do, but when you kind of hear that, you begin to wonder, one, how long has it been in there for? 2, if it's the biggest one he's ever seen, is this too much for him to deal with?
I think what he said and the reassuring things along the way were because it was so big and the way it was sitting on your brain that they said it wasn't fast growing, because if it was fast growing you would be like almost like gone.
Yeah.
Because it was putting pressure on your brain. So this, he could tell it was really small growing because the way the brain kind of was shaped around it.
Yes.
Which was reassuring.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, oh yeah, like we don't have to do the surgery straight away, but like in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, yeah. It's not like...
when I get back from Bali.
Yeah. He goes, oh, no real rush. I'm like, oh, like, no real rush, cool. I've got the Olympics coming up for work. Like, it's a very busy time. Oh, no. Surgery in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right, cool. So that kind of threw everything into a bit of a spin for me, work-wise, and obviously with us at home too, because, you know, you find out you're pregnant and you still got to go in for brain surgery. I didn't know the timeline of recovery and everything else. Like, we didn't really know any of that.
Yeah.
So
I think like the way it was described to us, it was almost like a routine, and it probably is routine for neurosurgeons to do it. So we weren't necessarily prepared for the recovery of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we asked the right questions because it was kind of like...
this was so sudden.
Yeah.
Like, it was just quick.
Yeah.
Because with the surgery in 2 weeks, like, I don't know, when you say it's no rush for surgeries in a month's time, then you got more time to read about everything. But yeah, we had a week and a half, 2 weeks to kind of get everything ready. So yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, really weird start to July from that point. You know, you get the, oh my goodness, we're pregnant, to, oh my goodness, I got a brain tumour, I'm potentially going to die in the same week.